Hi, I'm Swapnesh. In today's session, I'll be talking on the topic goal setting, the key to a successful life. Most of us have dreams. We dream to be good professionals. We dream about getting a good job. We want to be a successful sportsman. We want to be film stars. The dreams can be different. Now, I'll be talking about how to translate these dreams into goals and further into reality. I'll start with a small story. It's from the famous book Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. In that, there is an interesting sequence. Alice lost her way in the Wonderland. She comes across a cat known as the Cheshire Cat. She asks the cat, "Which way I should go from here?" The cat asks back, "Where do you want to go?" Alice says, "I don't care much." Then the cat says, "You can choose to go the way you want. It doesn't make any difference." Same is the case with us. If you don't know what our destination is, then you can go the way you want. But if you want to reach somewhere in life, then definitely we should have some goals and the plans to translate them into reality. So Einstein and Michelangelo, they are considered to be pretty intelligent guys. So Einstein has said that if you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people or things. The problem with many of us is that we don't set big goals and miss it. Sometimes we set very low goals and we are okay with it and we just leave with that. This guy, is he familiar to you? He is Ted Leonis. Once, when he was a young man, he was traveling in a flight. Then what happened was the flight landed in an air pocket. Then the pilot lost control and it was a pretty tough situation, turbulent situation. People were praying, many started to kneel down and pray and all. So finally the pilot managed to propel the flight back to safety. Once it landed, Ted had a perspective change. He has just faced a near-death experience. What he did was, he went home, he took a notebook and he wrote 101 things I want to achieve in my life. Because when he thought in retrospection, he realized that he hasn't achieved anything meaningful in life. So he wrote down 101 things, 101 goals that I want to achieve in life. In that there were some pretty achievable, very simple goals like going on skiing in a particular region in United States. There were pretty ambitious goals like becoming the CEO of multinational company. After 15 years, he checked his notebook and realized that he has achieved more than 70 of that goals. He later became the chairman of America Online, a pretty famous corporation. He started a sports company on his own. He wrote a bestseller. That is the power of written goals. So we should also have some written goals. So setting goals give you a long-term vision and short-term motivation. It helps us in setting priorities. And the problem with many of us is that we keep on procrastinating things. We say that, okay, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it day after tomorrow. And this tomorrow never comes. That's a real issue. So goal setting is a two-part process. First, you have to decide what you want to do. Then we have to work hard, put all our life behind that goal and try to achieve it. So simple. It's as simple as that. Decide on what you want, work at accomplishing that. So if you don't know where you are going to go, you may wind up somewhere else. Just think about you are going to embark on a car trip. Beforehand, before you start the journey, you know what is my end destination, which are the points in between, what is the route. So you know all these things beforehand. Life is pretty more complex than a car trip. So you should know beforehand what exactly do you want from life. So when you set goals, goals should be SMART. SMART means specific, measurable, attainable, relevant and time bound. I'll give examples of what it means. Specific. God should be specific. If I say that I want to be a good person, it is not really specific. I cannot really measure it. It is not tangible. But if I say that I want to improve my academic performance, it is a bit more specific. When a goal is specific, it generally becomes measurable. It becomes measurable. I can say that I want 90% of the marks. I want, say, university first rank. Then it is a measurable goal. And goals should be attainable. You can set ambitious goals, but suppose you say that I want to be the Prime Minister of India and the President of India. They are pretty tough to attain. Only very few people reach that. So set goals which are attainable. Next, the goals that you set should be relevant in the context of your life. They should be relevant. Don't chase somebody else's dreams and somebody else's goals. The goals that you set should be relevant for you, and set goals which are time bound. Just say that for example, you want to be an IAS officer. Say that I will achieve this in 5 years, or I will achieve by the age I am say 30. Then it becomes a time bound goal. Somebody who failed to plan definitely is planning to fail. So how can we plan properly? There's a very simple 4-step process. It is called PDCA. Plan, do, check and act. Suppose you want to improve your academic performance. You just plan. Okay, you make a daily timetable. You say that a number of hours I am going to study in a day. Then you work accordingly. You do it. And once in a while, you have to cross check it, because sometimes the things may not go according to plan. And then you have to take corrective action. So remember these 4 words, PDCA, which means plan, do, check and act. It's very important. So this is a very simple blueprint for goal setting. Develop a deep desire to achieve the goal. The desire must be intense. Once a journalist asked late Dhirubhai Ambani, you are familiar with the name Dhirubhai Ambani, he set up the Reliance Empire and all that. So journalist asked him a simple question: do you want to be as big as Tata or Birla? That was when he was a pretty small industrialist, budding entrepreneur and all that. So his reply shocked all the people who are present there. Do you know what he replied? He said, I just want to be a Tata or Birla. I want to be much bigger than Tatas and Birlas put together. Goosebumps, right? So he was pretty ambitious. Maybe that's why he becomes such a big industrialist. So you should have a deep, burning desire to achieve your goal. Second, write your goal down. We are already seen the power of written goals. So preferably put it into writing. Take a notebook, write all the goals. There can be personal goals, there can be professional goals, there can be spiritual goals. It depends on what you want. Write your goals down. Third is, identify the obstacle you need to overcome. Suppose you want to become a public speaker. Then you may have some mental blocks which prevent you from becoming a good public speaker. You may have stage fright. So you have to start in a small way. You may want to call your friends, few of your friends, then talk in their presence. Then gradually increase the size of the crowd. So whenever you get an opportunity, try to overcome that mental barrier. And set a deadline for your goal. It should be time bound. Then plan. Make a proper plan. Another very important thing is create a mental picture of the goal in your mind. How you are going to feel when you achieve the goal. Many of the successful sportsmen, for example, they are good visualizers. Creating this mental picture in your mind is called visualizing. So try to create a mental picture. Suppose you want to become an IAS officer, just imagine that when you become an IAS officer, everybody is going to congratulate you. How do you feel? The training that you are going to undergo. So create a mental picture. That's very powerful. It is called visualizing. Then last but not the least, you have to back your plan with persistence. See, things may not always go according to plan. There can be setbacks. Sometimes you may fail, but then you have to restart it again. That's part of the process. So you create your own roadmap in any way you want. You can be creative. You can take printouts. You can paste it in your goal book. You can write whatever you want. You start a diary. It all depends on how you want to go about it. But create your own personal roadmap. That's pretty important. So make a list of goals you would like to accomplish. See, the problem with many of us is that we are in a comfort zone. We may dream about big things, but what happens is we are in a comfort zone and we don't want to get out of the comfort zone. So chase your dreams, get out of the comfort zone, go after your goals. All the best. Thanks for listening. Bye.